All right. All right. All right. All right. So, uh, I am down to my last category of doing a run through. Then the fun starts, and I get the feeling that this last run through is just not going to be not going to get very many things that are new out of it. I've I've done at least one through in every single category, except for development. And development at this point has a 29.2183% build rate. My disk space with 4,128 packages built. There it is 34%. So 1 in 3. And they're all Perl packages. Every one of them are Perl packages. No, they're all Perl packages, but some of them are text packages. There's Perl. Oh, is there Perl? 3 pearls or more Perl? Could there be more Perl? And more Perl, and there's the Perl. How many Perl packages do I actually have? Besides Perl itself, let's see, P5, 1346 through... Whoopsie daisy. 1346 through, let's go. 2638. No? Yeah, 2638. So, I'm actually getting that. So, where are we? Yeah, 2638, 1342. Hike. That's about 4 less than 1,296. And actually, it's 1,297. Perl packages. So, didn't have Perl, I'd be in a load of trouble. So now I'm just gonna start my devel cycle here. Do. Come on, do. So it's probably gonna take a while. I've cleaned this out several times, so it's gonna try to remake the whole world. Getting my disk space down as low as I can before I do this one. It's gonna try to make 1,885 packages. Numbers wise, the World Wide Web category went fairly well. It isn't the highest. It's not the lowest, but actually output and performance of things I'd want to use, such as Firefox or SeaMonkey or even Midori or NetSurf, that is still a big zero. The archivers I've been doing a little more focusing because it's big enough to like look at what hasn't been made and work on them. And so now I'm up to 72% on those. And I've like ported over George Schilling's Star archiver. Ooh. Of course, it was already ported over to BeOS, so I just had to copy some files, rename them to BeOS, and the only thing I really had to do was actually force the live network to go in there, and on one of the rule sets, I had to make sure that when it tried to do the installation, that it had ln-s for the it was trying to make hard links originally. Additionally, also the tar file had hard links in them, so I did the whole FTP thing, bring it into Linux, unzip it, zip it back up with the hard D reference, FTP back up, FTP back down, build. Then I had to, and he has pretty good porting instructions, and there's one part of it's kind of funny. I think maybe if I already was going to read something here. Just for fun. If I still have the source. If I don't, I could download it. Well, actually, I do have the source because I always see now I have two packages with the source code set aside because the tar files had hard links in them. So Star is one of them, 1.4.3, and Mesa 7.11.2. Star 1.4.3, which I'm going to make a copy of, put in another directory just so I could show off a paragraph that will read kind of funny, but we know who we're dealing with George Schilling, I guess, right? It's all about context, actually. So I'm going to expand this. So basically, with Star, and Star doesn't do configure, and I like that. That's one thing. That's one thing I do like about Star. You just do make, and that's it. And he's got everything ready and a bunch of different stuff, and he'll explain. And actually, I actually agree with him here. And what's so ironic, what I'm going to read, and what's so ironic is no one listened to him. Unfortunately. So, come on, Star. Go in there. He even has a text file on porting here. So I'm going to open up, I'm going to read parts of it. I know he's got better stuff than that. Here he goes. Calling configure manually is outdated because this is a task of the makefile system. So this is all about, if he wrote this yesterday, this will be funny. Calling the configure file manually is outdated because it's a task. If you don't have to call configure with this makefile system. Calling make or make all on top of the create all the needed targets. Calling make install. Okay, program. This program uses a new makefile system. This makefile system uses text and ideas from the 80s and 90s and is designed in a modular way. So it's modern. He's using all the modern stuff from the 80s, 1980s and 1990s. But you know what? It actually works better than a lot of the stuff that I've seen. So for, I guess I'll just do Star because it's here. What I had to do for Star, it's getting a little bit sluggish here. So I'm trying to empty the trash and compile at the same time. I'll just open my trash. Everything's slow motion right now. My solve file. So one thing I had to do for package source, just so you know, with Star for Haiku, because I have two audiences here actually. What I had to do is basically this crap here with the pre-build would come up and it would try to inject all these rule files and stuff for these various operating systems, and what's strange about it, this may be a port that hasn't been used in a long time or changed in a long time, but what's strange about it is that the way Star works is you're basically, when you port over another operating system, it works very well. If I'm able to do it, it's a good design, because I'm not the porting king. I'm just, a guy that's using package source and hacking a few things here and there. And, if it compiles, it compiles. If it doesn't, then it's up to the flip of the dice and luck in my part. So anyway, his instructions are basically, you have to create like 6 different files. And, okay, there's 1, 2, 6 different files. If you create these 6 files properly, you'll be able to build, and you won't have a problem. And some of these are these, rule files for CC or JCC, whatever compiler you're using, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it's both, maybe it's one, who knows. But this is doing all the, it's trying to bring this stuff in on this pre-build. And so if if you're in package source and you try to do it, it'll just go, it'll start, you'll see something with the command line talking about netbsd can't continue. It's like, I don't care about this. So what I did is I said, okay, well, if your operating system is netbsd, and it probably, I probably should put an OR, and this would be something I would, send as a patch over to the package source people if I ever get around to. There's just so many different things. The most correct way for me to handle this, of course, is to have it, if the operating system equals netbsd, or if the operating system equals Linux, or if the operating system equals FreeBSD. They didn't do it that way. They just assumed that whoever made this makefile just assumed those are the only 3 it's going to be. It's always going to be these 3. And therefore, they're going to create some files by I don't know, I guess they're doing something here for the 64-bit platform. I don't know. I just don't know exactly what it is, but I said if you basically, I'm Haiku, so I'm not NetBSD, so it's going to skip all this stuff. If, and then this line down here, it just makes the stuff compile. That's all it does. If you're making a new makefile for package source, you got to have that in there or the compiler won't start. So pre-build, I skipped that out. Then that problem was over with. So basically what I did is I changed this, did a bmake extract, and I copied my stuff in, but I'm not actually doing anything that are Confederate patches, because these are my own files. They're basically modifications of the BEOS files that were already there. So I'll just take a look at them. So if you get the source for Star, first of all, for Star and package source or any Haiku, got to download source code to some platform that can handle the hard links, extract it there, and then when you zip it up, make sure you use the hard dereference option that I did on another presentation. That'll zip it back up without the hard links in there. Okay. And then you're gonna bring it back into the dist files directory, and then when it won't error out when it tries to extract the source code. Okay. This makefile, of course, is the BSD makefile, so it has nothing to do with the source that comes from the project. It has everything to do with, it's kind of like the recipe, almost exactly like the recipe that's in Haiku Porter. But it's a recipe for many operating systems, not just one. I didn't do anything with any of the patches, and arguably, perhaps, I don't know if that's really a patch. Guess not. Okay, and I'm getting a little worried about having opinions around here. Just try not to do it because I just okay. So so this thing originally just up here it said OS/BOS ID. It said BOS there, and it said Arch is, I think it just said BE or maybe BEPC. I'm not sure, but that's what I have in there. Okay, then that's all it is. So I just changed that. Just changed what was BOS to this. If it'll close. Then I almost did the same thing for the BEPC rule. No, sorry. Which one did I start with? Let's go back to do the ID. Right, I just looked at that. Then the definition's almost exactly the same as the ID, but it says the man style is BSD. Alright, fine. Change that little thing to haiku. It wouldn't even matter if I didn't anyway, but change that to say haiku and BSD. I mean, it's just more or less proper form, you know, it has the right labels in there. Then this here, one thing that was important, you know, I just changed the name, kept the BEPC stuff there, put the haiku there. And what was important here is one of these two, I don't remember which one. It comes with the source code from his project. One of them is missing this line here with the ln equals bin ln minus s. If you don't use ln minus s, say, sorry, can't hard link, and then, you know, parts of the package list will be missing. You know, the error scrolls on by. You know, it's still up there, higher up in the log. It's basically all you got to do for those. I think that's, you know, that's one I just look up. These are almost identical. So I don't know which one it was. And then over here for the live socket, I put LNetwork. Hopefully I did that for the CC compiler. It's not good. There it is. Library. So I added that. I'm starting to get the idea that minus LNSL for other operating systems means library network. Not sure yet. So don't hold me to that. You can experiment with it. Don't hold me to that. This is under the rules directory. So there's the rules directory, kind of like in Congress, there's a rules committee. Then there's this defaults thing, and I used you know, the BEOS stuff, but the BEOS was wanting to go to the opt directory. So that, I don't think that exists. And in my case, because I'm putting it in package source, I put boot home package instead of opt in all cases. Kept the permissions the same, and there's another one called, it's just in the plain old defaults instead of defaults environment. Again, instead of opt, boot home package. Done. That was it. That's all I had to do. So the toughest part was just getting the hard links out of there. And of course, that's just a matter of unlinking, you know, unzipping it on a platform that can handle hard links and bringing it back down. And I just did the same thing I did last time. And for package source, I just had to make sure it didn't, this crap here didn't, because it didn't have this if-then statement here. So I was just going to do for every single one of these, just chuck these things in. And then for some reason, the compiler started wanting to work on NetBSD, and forget it. It just, I don't want that stuff. It's going to mess with my with my compile, make it fail. So that was pretty much it. And so I set aside the source code that I have without the hard links in them. Same method I used before. I did that. I think I've done 2 videos on it, but one for sure I did it on the Mesa library. The one after the Mesa library, I actually did it on camera. You know, the hard dereference deal. The one on Mesa, I think I screwed up and I put like a I got confused on one of the directories on the tarp. Then on the last one, I actually did it on camera, so you can see it. So I wanted to get my numbers up for the archivers, and I was at 69%, and so I just started looking at stuff, and so that one was just pretty much straightforward and easy, and the numbers now, I don't know exactly what I've done today. This is kind of like my final report here. So, not really final, it's interimly final. Because the next step of what I'm going to be doing, of course, is after I do this run through the development section, which will probably take a whole day. It probably won't even be till the end of tomorrow night. It's like 10 o'clock right now. On Thursday. It probably wouldn't even be 10 o'clock. It probably wouldn't even be Saturday morning until it's done going through all 1,800 packages, if that. And I'm probably not going to get much of a gain out of this because I've gleaned that the devel category here really is really dependencies that all these other categories will call upon. I would expect, though, that would be about the same percentage, right? So, anyway. So, I did bag a few more today. So, one was ARJ. I think if I just look at my solve directory and see what the dates are for archivers. If it'll respond to my double clicking. Wow, there's 3 of them. No, XZ, that had to have been. Yeah, I just made some notes on that. So it was star and ARJ. So ARJ, what do I have to do in that? So ARJ, I kind of learned something. I did less hacking, and I actually got a better build than I probably would have under most circumstances. So what happens with ARJ is, you download it, and you extract it, and you try to make a run. The first thing that comes up is an error with environ C. ARJ, where we are. Yeah, this environment. Oh yeah, it likes to complain about something or other not being any part of any binary package. Doesn't really matter. That's nothing. That's benign. But it errors out with the saying it wants a header called stat.fs.h. And I looked at the code a little more closely, and basically the code here in environ.c has some settings in it for specific operating systems. If you're this operating system, look for that header. If you're this operating system, look for this header. If you're using this compiler, look for this header. If you, if you're DOS, look for this header. If you're look for this header. Okay, so what happens actually in this whole thing, at least with Haiku, is it gets all the way down to here, and it just then it finally can't find anything, and this didn't say sys.stat.v, it said sys.stat.fs. I also added sysresource.h because I just happened to look at it and I noticed that it had some wording or definitions that looked kind of like the errors that I had already, so that I was getting. So I just decided to go ahead and include it, and I was able to pretty much move on to the it gave me a better result. The only thing that the other error that came up that actually isn't really implemented is some kind of priority tasking. there's an error with, set priority is not defined, blah, 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 blah. It's pretty clear it should come from a header. And so I just got rid of the whole section. Basically, it kind of like, there's a function in this program to try to tell the system how high of a priority it should be run. And it seems to be mostly Windows related, but did some reading somewhere on the development list. I got the idea that hasn't been implemented yet, or there's actually an open bug for that, and no one's assigned to it. No one's dealing with it, and so it isn't really gonna. Well, I mean, since we don't have that, maybe that's why I'm getting some of the choppy feel I get sometimes in the OS. It's like there's a term called nice or something like that. The system is running nicely. There's a function or something like that gets it to run nice. I don't think that's implemented in here. I could be wrong, but it looks like it isn't. So I just got rid of that part. And this ARJ minus C also had that kind of verbiage. And I just got rid of the whole section that dealt with it. And compiled. So, does it work? Oh, I don't know. I haven't tried any of these programs out. Yeah, I have. So since last night, I was kind of going, does any of these programs work? So I tried GTAR, and it seemed like it functioned. So basically, what I'm dealing with is anything that wants a graphical user interface, I'm having troubles with. If it doesn't want a graphical user interface, or if it's happy with ncurses, we're good. So I'm still dealing with 1993's best Unix here, at least at this stage. So the next stage I'm going to be going through is, right now I'm going to just get my stats organized. I have sheets that track each one of the categories. And then I've labeled the programs that have installed or are installable on each one of these. I guess aren't really sheets. This is one of the bigger ones, the Devel sheet or sheets. Then on the sections that I've actually done an analysis, which is this crap here, I'm going to go back and look at those analyses and see whether the issue that I had at the time when I did the analysis and was the cause of a failure has been since resolved. So, for example, with CAD, all these ones that are highlighted should no longer be stopped by the problem that I was having at the time. It doesn't mean they're all going to be made correctly, but basically, at the time, it wanted CMake, and I've since been able to build CMake. I've gotten out of the way of Diger's patches, and so they applied and they worked. And then for 8, it wanted the Mesa libraries, but it wouldn't build. So now I can try all these and see how it goes. But still, percentage on CAD is 25%. So really, that's only a third of the success rate. And then there's my famous 214-748-8780, and I'm sure that's graphical. And then I'm going to start working on the HBI's top 10 most wanted compile roadblocks, which include a lot of the packages that are here listed. It wants G95, it wants Motive, it wants PYC element tree. Now, what I'm going to do about PYC element tree is I am going to see whether the wisdom of package source is going to hold true in this case. The reason why that's happening is because package source, pardon my roof, is saying that PYC element tree needs to be built, absolutely needs to be built, or the package that I'm interested in building absolutely has to use Python 27 because it's not compatible with Python 34. or 33. There's a problem with that. So what I'm seeing is an actual problem trying to use Python 27 because it's not building. I could try to rebuild Python 27. I could try to work through it even more to try to see if I can get a better build of Python 27. It is not a perfect build, but the ratio of success I'm having between Python 27 and 34 is far more in the favor of 34 than 27, at least in my case. So there was a ripple in the Python world when Python, maybe it's actually 3.4. When Python 3 came out, there were some compatibility issues. At least that's what I've read. Some of the projects dealt with those issues and some of them didn't. So I'm hoping actually that I'm going to find that. In fact, I might just try one of them. I have no idea how successful I'm going to be before I fall over. In fact, maybe let's go to the archivers because I'm getting medieval on the archivers' ass. There are some. Once the Python C element tree. Which one is that damn thing? Got a ton of notes here. This one wants Python 27 expat. And it's 20 and 20 file roller. So let me see if I could force file roller to use something besides the Python 27 version of expat, because I have the Python 3.4 version of expat built without a problem. So why not just use that PyExpat versus the other. So okay, so I'm looking for file roller here. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this clutter on my desk. Actually, I am already in the archivers category. Where's file roller here? File roller. Okay, what is it making me do here? The make file. Now, okay. It actually isn't going to matter if I on this one because it's still going to want to build GLI B2, and I haven't built that yet. Built CMake, but I haven't built GLI. I just have to take the time to make sure I get all the patches in there correctly. So that's not going to do much, but maybe over here on the CAD, maybe I'll find one that's got. See, I can target these things, and then as things get solved, I can go back and say, oh yeah, let's look for all the CMakes, or let's look for all the GLIBs, or so this one number for error 10, which would be GTK wave. I don't want to do anything GT. It's going to want GLIB. What's GSMC? There's something called PCB. Let's see if I can do something in the CAD department on PCB. Okay. The operating system heard what I had to say and brought me right there. What's this message? The following directories all include in search path for the M4 files. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I hate M4 and Automake. God, gosh. Because they hardly ever work. I got. I don't think I have GMake build, but it's gonna use that anyway. It's gonna want Motif and GTK. Okay, well, maybe I gotta wait on this. I'll just do that later, because, whatever. So right now I'm still trying to empty my trash, and I'm still trying to build stuff, and I don't know if... And just because packages show up in my packages directory. It doesn't mean I got a new build. It's going to rebuild stuff. Package source doesn't check to see, oh, this is already installed. Let's go to the next one. It'll try. If you want to build it, it'll try. So this is kind of the results I'm going to expect. Just everything's going to be a replacement for stuff I've built before. So that's the update. There's not a lot to talk about, at least at this stage. And what's going to end up happening, I guess, I could just try to do one of these most wanted apps. One of it is Protobuf. I think it's Protobuf, which I think is in the X11 area. Could be in the graphics area. I do not know, but I will find out shortly. And for Protobuf, and that could be part of what's going on, why I'm not getting any X11 apps, because I'm in a Protobuf. Or something's missing. I don't know what the overall recipe is supposed to be for that kind of stuff. Well, it's not in X11. Perhaps it is in graphics. Yeah, I'm going to have to actually look this up. Where else would it be? Development. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Not. Because everything's a dependency goes in development, right? Even the X11 packages, they're all dependencies. Okay, so Protobuf, and let's see, what do I got here? So the patches from Haiku ports has changes for just a couple lines for gtest, and there's a recipe. 2 recipes. So it's one file. Okay, so yeah, that shouldn't be too hard to do. Let's try it. Protobuf project do bmake extract. Not there yet. Okay, it's gonna terminal here. Download and extract it. Now, it could be that it just didn't build because one of my overrides. We'll find out. Because this is not much to change, really. Apparently it likes the lib tool. So probably what I should do is try to build all these fugitive packages while this giant development thing is going on. It's taking forever. I should probably kill the bug server. Bye. Do it again for good measure. Oh, well, suddenly we get some magic response. Especially since the logs don't seem to be very useful for me to look at and figure out what the hell's going on, and they don't seem to go anywhere. I don't see much use of having it.
Because all it does is slow my system down.
Okay, so this is supposedly in the G-test include G-test. Is it even there yet? It should be now. G-test include G-test internal guest port H.
And over here at line 198, supposedly, it's 203, ain't looking too good. Where's I'm on 2.5 here. Okay, so I gotta look for something that looks like that. It's starting to look okay. Mac 1, no. Links, okay.
Darn it. Ah. SVR. ZOS. MVS. Alright, so we're just basically what we're doing here is do an elif here. Else if. Looks like that goes over there. Or it could go there. So I'm at line 250. It's called code creep.
elif defined. Haiku. Define. Oh, no caps. Naughty, naughty. Okay, I guess that.
What that means, I have no idea. Then we're going to look for
Solaris. Probably about 10 more lines down here. God knows, I don't know. On some platforms, Reg X. Okay.
they had a whole bunch of code for panda right here.
And look for Symbian. Egads. Wow, crap. Mm. Almost looks the same.
That's going to be a bit of a problem.
Oh boy.
Look for this thing. I probably don't want to go backwards either. I was up near where I made the first change. I gotta look for this haiku. See, that right there looks like that. Side join. Damn it. I'm really looking to piggyback. I don't know what the context was here. Darn it, I don't know. What the context was. Somewhere in here, but so now I gotta look at the source code for 241 because I can't even figure out what this stuff is. So this G-test has exceptions. And this is only supposedly 30 lines higher here. There's the simple RE. Whew. They've completely rewritten this. Which is rare. Crap. Yeah, there's the original. Alright, so what the hell are they talking about? Line 205. Stop. What we did is we added our, that slash continues the line. We added our thing here to basically use all this stuff. We went 238. That is. I guess it goes right under the simple read ones. What the hell? You know, it may not be tied to the OS anymore. So what the hell happened here? Maybe that's all I had to do. I'm not holding my breath here. Not a dang diddly bit. What's happening on... I need to do something with SDL. Oh, they're all going to fail. I probably should try to make it a little more exciting and try to build glib, but... Come on, tool chain wrappers, hurry the hell up. Set this aside. I always set aside my changes. New folder. Rename. Figure out some kind of time warp. File paste. Kill the debug server. So another 200,000 files to delete. Whoop-de-doo. And for glib, looks like there's some stuff to add. A lot of stuff to add. A lot of changes to not that much. glib 1, there's your glib 2. Build. Now this TCSH shell takes me a lot longer to figure this stuff out than to do later on camera, and I may just end up doing that later on camera. I don't even know what the changes are for TCSH. Are supposed to be. We haven't gotten the patches yet. Now I gotta figure out this Gentoo stuff. Is it assist ass, app, assist show? Where is it? App shells, maybe? No. Tell me you don't have any. Actoid positive for make code port TCSH should go app shells. That's why see what I don't understand is why my TCH is not building. And they don't have any. It must be one of my compile options. See what protobuf's gonna do here. I'm not holding my breath. Glut, I do not know what to do about it. And I'm just about ready to go home too. Let's see if this does anything, but whatever. Nah. 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 I just hope this thing doesn't cause a kernel panic. It is a dependency. Okay. For something. Hopefully it's just the damned linker. Now, what I don't understand about these errors I'm getting when I try to run my apps, even though I path them, is that I've already linked against these libraries. the app wouldn't build if I wasn't able to link against it. And then it just still doesn't run. It's just the strangest. It must be I'm missing some parts. Could try to speed this up by pausing the trash can that wants to wait another hour to finish. Started to think about compiling and it balked. Let's do Gear once again. Woohoo! This thing's gonna try TCSH. Nope. Not doing that. Thank you. I thought I was building TCH. Alright, so what's it saying here? Initializing argument. What? In function void Google protobuf, blah 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 blah. There's some header error, invalid conversion from Google to Atomic. There's nothing to do with the patches that they have at all for protobuf anywhere. But of course, this is a different version. Needs someone to define size t. Do I have a problem with size t? What is that? And it was complaining it didn't know what to do about pthreads. Well, this is not what I'm going to do over the weekend. I'm not going to do this now. Sure, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And this thing, this pipe package doing this 27. I don't know how to get it to stop doing that. For God, whatever the hell this is. And then it doesn't work. It doesn't like the specs. Python builds without using any headers, but even if I turned that off, some other linker option would be a problem. It usually happens with Python 27, so I actually need a better Python 27 build, which sucks because it seems like I already did acrobatics to try to get it to work. Yeah, that's gonna be it for now.